I felt like I had missed out on something special, and it made me wonder, what other St. Louis attractions are no longer around us? So I called up Cameron Collins. You see, he wrote about what's gone, and his book nearly made that list.
Lost in the rubble of the fire at Park Warehouse Services was a treasure.
For me, it's a lost treasure for sure.
Copies of Cameron Collins' book.
I still had a skid of books in there that went away.
It has become his mission to ignite the memories of what St. Louis has lost.
Just learned fascinating things about everything dating back to the fur trade and the Civil War and even the American Revolution.
So Collins put together a book.
There's over 400 treasures.
Some places you may not know.
St. Louis has a better story than I not only realized, but that even a lot of my St. Louis friends were aware of.
Like this was a public bathhouse from the early 1900s, or that the St. Louis Stars of the Negro Leagues once called this corner their home.
What I love doing is pointing out to people what used to be here.
Crestwood Mall is among the used-to-bes.
Northwest Plaza is another one, which was once the largest shopping mall in the world, I believe.
Collins spent 2 years putting his book together. He says what added to his passion were the stories.
I met a veteran of the Battle of the Bulge. He told me a story about his sweetheart, and unfortunately, during the war, they went their separate ways. Upon seeing her again, he asked her on a date, and he took her to the Top of the Tower restaurant in North St. Louis. And on that very first date, he asked her to marry him.
But among the broken windows and the abandoned buildings, there are a few places still going. And Collins believes there is a movement in St. Louis to preserve the things that we still have, so that the story of St. Louis doesn't become a lost treasure completely.
There's a definite groundswell of affection for what St. Louis has been and where it's going.
Now, on December the 11th at Blueberry Hill in the Loop, they're holding a benefit for Reedy Press and for the writers who also lost books in that warehouse fire. But a lot of those writers will have the ability to have reprints done, but that's going to take a while. A lot of things in St. Louis, though, that you really should go out and see.
God,
You go,
we
I didn't
have
know.
to preserve our history,
Yes,
right?
we do. Yeah.
Coming up next.